This is a series of videos where I will be going through the different pages of first aid. I cannot show the, I cannot show first aid, but I can talk about the topics in that particular page. And you can choose to kind of review that particular topic or particular page or particular subject with me as I'm going through the certain topic. I will be adding my own twist, my own points, things that I've learned from other sources into that particular topic. It's not only first aid material, it's just accumulation of everything that I've learned, but I'll follow the pages of first aid just so that we have an order of which direction we are going. So anyways, let's start with respiratory. And this is first aid 2012. This is page 558. They talk about the anatomy of respiratory system, where they talk about the conducting zone and the respiratory zone. Okay, so it's quite obvious. Conducting zone is the zone that conducts and does not take part in any respiration, and respiratory zone is something which takes part in respiration. So the one thing that's interesting to kind of know in this particular topic is that whenever we're talking about terminal bronchioles, is that conducting zone or respiratory zone? That's the one thing that's important to know. So terminal bronchioles is actually conducting zone. Okay, you'll be mistaken if you think that terminal bronchioles is part of the respiratory zone. But under respiratory zone, there is also bronchioles. They are called respiratory bronchioles. Okay, those are part of the respiratory zone. Okay, and another thing I want to mention here is that the job of conducting zone is to humidify. The job of conducting zone is to bring air in and out. Okay, these are some of the actions done by the conducting zone. Also, this is the anatomic dead space. Okay, this is the anatomic dead space. Anatomic dead space meaning that it's not taking part in any respiratory action, the conducting zone. Okay, so that's about it. Other things I want to talk about is that until when do we see cartilage in our respiratory system? Where do we see cartilage? Okay, we see cartilage in trachea and bronchi. We don't see it in bronchioles. Okay, we see it in trachea and bronchi. So that's about cartilage. What else do we have to know about this particular topic? Okay, I want to talk about J receptors. J receptors are not present in this particular page, but I do want to talk about it. J receptors are receptors present between the interstitium of the two alveoli. So imagine these are two different alveoli. J receptors is probably going to be like this. Now J receptors are connected to the vagus nerve. Okay, and J receptors become stimulated when there's distension of the alveoli. Okay, too much distension, more than normal. Okay, J receptors is not stimulated in normal state. It's only when there's too much distension of the alveoli and pushes on to the interstitium of the alveoli where J receptor becomes stimulated. And some of the reasons why J receptors can be stimulated is pulmonary edema. Okay, that can stimulate J receptors. It can be stimulated in PE, pulmonary embolism. It can be stimulated in barotrauma. Okay. It can also be stimulated in pneumonia. Okay, you get the idea. Whenever there is a distension, the J receptors is going to be stimulated. So what happens if J receptor is really stimulated? What is the effect? The effect is that it's going to increase a ventilation, or it's going to increase respiration. Same thing, right? So these are some of the things that is important to know from this particular page dealing with the anatomy of respiratory system.